Welcome to Inside Network's INBriefs at the Income and Defensive Asset Symposium. My guest today is Justin Tyler from Daintree Capital. Welcome, Justin.
Jamie, hi.
Can you explain the premise of the Core Income Fund to me?
Yeah, for sure. So the Core Income Fund, we aim for that to be your core defensive allocation.
Okay.
We colloquially call this Nana's Fund. This is the fund that you put your grandmother's life savings into and you sleep well at night. Everything about it, the aim is to be defensive, all about capital preservation. The return target is cash plus 1.5% to 2% over a rolling 3-year period.
Okay. And how does it differentiate from a traditional fixed income portfolio?
Sure. So there's lots of portfolios out there that are benchmarked to things like the Bloomberg Composite Index, for example. We ignore benchmarks.
Okay.
We think they're flawed for all sorts of reasons.
Okay.
Moving beyond the product, the other way we differentiate is just by ourselves. We've been doing this for a long time and we're a boutique, we're a true boutique. So everyone has an equity interest in the business and everyone, invests in the fund, that sort of thing as well.
Yeah, great. So, and we've heard from a lot of people today, boutique or major. What's the one or two things in a boutique that you can execute for your clients that maybe you couldn't do if you were sitting in a very large institution?
Look, we have a certain degree of nimbleness, but I'd move more towards just the culture of the team and what we set out to do. The aim really is to get the right people in the team and make sure they stay there for a long period of time. At the end of the day, that gives you certainty as to who's doing the investing and the investment style that you're exposed to.
So people are as important as the process.
Absolutely. Yeah. Right. In our industry, it's all about trust. Yeah, it's all about trust. We're here to build trust, and that's what it's all about. So you want to be talking to the same person for a long period of time.
And we've been in very volatile times for fixed income. Is there any unappreciated risks on the risk side that fits in this category that people don't talk about?
Sure. Well, if we were having this conversation, say 3 months ago, 4 months ago, I'd be talking about interest rate risk.
Yep.
Now that's manifested. And I think the next thing that people need to be aware of is probably liquidity risk.
Yep.
There are a lot of investments in the fixed income sphere that you might classify as private debt or things like that.
Sure.
And they have a role in the portfolio, but if it's all you're investing, you do lack liquidity, and we think that that's an important thing to be aware of.
We haven't seen that since 2008, have we? Where liquidity dries up.
That's right.
And valuations become in question.
That's right, and it might not happen that way,
Yep.
but the risk is there.
So how do you get around that? Is your fund liquid?
Yeah, absolutely.
I can buy it and sell it any day?
Yep. It's daily liquidity, which that's another thing that differentiates it from funds like the ones I just mentioned, and indeed other funds that do other things as well. So daily liquidity, we find our investors appreciate that. And also we pay monthly distributions.
Yep.
And as I said, it's all about stating that target return of 150 to 200 over cash and minimising the risk that we take in order to achieve it.
And just to recap again, the Core Income Fund's universe is what? Is it Australia only? Is it global? Is it certain categories of credit rated? Can you just explain
Sure,
that?
yeah. So we're global unconstrained, so we can basically
all
invest.
focus back to that objective.
Yeah, however, we do put some constraints on ourselves in that we don't invest in emerging markets. We think that requires specialist resources. And at the end of the day, even though we're global unconstrained, we do hold a reasonable amount of the fund in Australia. And the reason for that is the monthly distributions. You want to make sure we can keep those up. If you hold a lot of offshore, then you have to hedge your currency risk, and that introduces volatility into your income.
Yeah, great. Thanks for joining us, Justin.
No problems. Thanks, Jamie.